This is the Moshpit Backstage podcast for punk, metal and rock interviews and segments.
G'day, this is Joel from Airbourne, and you're rocking out to the Moshpit on Sin. Keep rocking.
Hello, metalheads and punk rockers. This is Steven from Stevo's Worst Years on the Moshpit, and currently a Make Metal True Again on Sin Nation. Who I have here beside me right now is Stefan.
Hey, good to thank Steven for having me here.
And we are about to interview the titans of modern rock and metal. That band is Airbourne. The guys are an Australian rock and roll band born out of Warrnambool. These guys replicate the sound of old school AC/DC with some touches of Motorhead, Judas Priest and even Def Leppard to create the sound of modern rock that Australia needs, and have now reached the climbing peaks of modern rock and metal with international success. Recently they have released a new album titled Breaking Out of Hell, released through Spinefarmer, and be warned there are
no ballads, no bullshit.
Yeah. So today we are lucky to have Joel O'Keefe. Congratulations on the new efforts. What are your thoughts on the new album?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been out now for I think about 3 months.
Yeah.
And we've been touring it around, and look, the songs are going over really well live. We've been having quite a few circle pits in Breaking Outta Hell, so that's been good. And then Down on You's been going over really well. Look, it's all been really rocking.
You say the tour's going well, the new songs are going well. How does it compare the Australian audience and the international audiences?
You mean like what's the difference between who's more crazy? Is that sort of
everything?
Yeah.
You go sim, because I understand that I've read some articles saying that Airbourne maybe doesn't get the airplay they deserve on Triple J. But overseas, you guys do really, really well.
Yeah, look, overseas, it's a lot different than it is for us here in Australia. But the crowd, rock and roll is a universal language, and it doesn't matter where we're playing, usually they're pretty crazy. But crowds in Australia, they're just as crazy, if not more crazy, as most of the ones we play overseas. And this tour's been great. It's all sold out, and we've just been having a really great time, finally coming home, finally being able to play some shows.
So when coming to the studio for the new album, were there any different perspective from different albums, or was it the same as it has always been?
Each album it's the same mentality, let's get it all down to tape. Let's really focus on the songs and really get it rocking and make sure it rocks non-stop from start to finish. And there's no ballads, no bullshit.
How excited are you guys about playing in Melbourne tomorrow night?
It's going to be great, mate. Really looking forward to it. Been thinking about it a lot leading up to it, so it's going to be really cool.
Just quickly on your interview on Tone Deaf, you guys seem to have a hectic touring schedule in Europe. Tell me how that affects everything for you guys, especially as an Australian.
Yeah, I mean, we're used to it though. Like, our first shows we played in Melbourne, we would drive down from Warrnambool and we'd play for half an hour, play at the Tote, and then we'd drive back, and then that was just what we did. And then we used to drive it, and so we're used to the big schedules overseas, like the 6 months on the road or whatever it was, or this last leg of the tour was. And we didn't see sunlight for 3 months at one stage, and that kind of made us go a bit crazy. Yeah, it's what it's like. It's got to have that gypsy blood in you, I think, to do it.
How did you guys get into music?
Oh, that was basically when I was a kid. I found a cassette tape by a band called the Atlantic Rhythm Section. There was a song on there called Boogie, and it was dubbed onto a cassette. And I didn't know what it was called at the time because there was no way to find out. There was no Shazam because it was just a blank cassette with this song on it, and it had been dubbed faster than what it was normally recorded at, which is what I discovered not too long ago when I found out who it was actually by. But then from that day forward, the guitar tone, just the way that the song is played, it's really classic rock and roll. Then I discovered AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Billy Thorpe, The Angels, Rose Tattoo, Screaming Jets, Baby Animals, and then once I discovered all them as a kid, then that really just, I was sold then,
I was just looking at the lineup for Hellfest in France, which is coming up, and that was a crazy festival that you're on. You're basically playing with the likes of Deep Purple, Aerosmith, Linkin Park, and on the poster itself, you're basically, according to the poster, as big as Slayer, as big as Rob Zombie, as big as Five Finger Death Punch, bigger than Steel Panther or Alter Bridge. Is that crazy?
What it does is when you see it, it makes you tell yourself, right, we need to do a real bloody good job then. Like, it really it lifts your game even further. It makes you really, you don't sort of read it and go, oh, wow, you don't really get super excited about it in a way, oh, yeah, how good are we kind of thing. You don't get like that. It's more of a, okay, shit, we need to do a really good job here. They're backing us, so we're going to have to really deliver.
Is that the biggest festival that you've ever done or will be doing?
It'll be the third or fourth time we've played Hellfest.
Okay. Yeah.
But definitely the highest up the bill that we've been on it.
On the road, you'll usually meet new people. Who did you meet that stood out to you?
You know, I've met Keith Richards. He stood out.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger stood out. You know, they all stand out. David Coverdale, Lemmy, a lot of times. Angry Anderson, Jimmy Barnes, and then Rob Halford, Steve Harris. I mean, we've met a lot of them. But one thing they all have in common is they're all great blokes. They're all very down to earth, and they're all just very, very welcoming and they're gentlemen in a way.
They always come to you and goes, "Hey man, I'm a huge fan of Airbourne. Airbourne's one of my favourite bands."
No, well, we have had if we're supporting, I remember when I met David Coverdale, we were supporting Whitesnake in a castle in Italy, and he came up to me after the set, and I had my fish and chips in my hand from catering, and he said, "Cracking set, man," and he just sort of said, he enjoyed it, and but so that's when someone like that says that to you, and they've watched your show, it does make you feel pretty good inside.
What is next for you guys? What can we expect? Where will you guys be in the year from now, like 3, 5, 10 years?
For us, we don't look back. When we're looking forward, we're really just focused on running as hard as we can, so we'll keep going forward. That's what we'll be doing.
What would be your advice for young bands, particularly in Australia, who want to strive to the heights you guys have reached today?
Just stick to your guns. You kind of got to be stubborn in a way. You've got to have a tunnel vision. Don't accept the wrong kind of help. But by the same token, no man is an island. So, if it's the right help, if someone's going to give you the right helping hand, definitely take it. But, don't sign anything that's going to sell your soul. You know what I mean? Don't ever think there's going to be some sort of easy way to the top. And if you're only in it for money, then you're in the wrong industry.
That's true.
Yeah, it is a long way to the top. And speaking of that, just how close were you to becoming the singer of AC/DC?
Oh, I never received a call or anything. So, I've seen a few things online. I was very honoured, but no, it never happened.
Okay, no audition, but you were considered.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there.
So, let's get to the lightning round of this interview. Now, what's your least favourite Airbourne song or album you guys have done?
Well, it's hard to do that. It's kind of like saying which one of your children do you hate the most. It's sort of hard to do that. So, look, there's some songs that I wish I could have written better. There's songs I wish I could have maybe done this on the guitar or sang this instead, but everyone's like that. If you care about what you do, you're always like that. So there's a lot of things along the way. We're still proud of it. We don't really talk about ourselves that much like that. We're not one for looking in. We're just very happy how far we've come and how many fans we have and how loyal and how awesome our fan base is. They're a very unique fan base, very similar to us.
So what's your current favourite Airbourne song then?
Oh, to play live, one of the new ones. Down on You's probably a favourite one at the moment, and Breaking Outta Hell, the title track. That's the ones that we've been rocking live. It's all for rock and roll's been going really well, yeah.
What would you usually have for breakfast?
I have 2 boiled eggs.
Oh, yes.
Good man, excellent protein. So,
yep. And a banana.
What's the one Airbourne song you can't do a show without?
Oh, Run 'em Wild. Yeah, we can't do a show without that. And it's also seeming like off the last record, we can't do a show without playing Ready to Rock from Black Dog Barking and live it up from that too. So there's a few that we can't do, actually, that we can't not ever play, which is good to have that feeling.
Favourite live venue in Melbourne, Australia, international?
What's that favourite live venue?
Internationally, maybe. Yeah. Well, basically anyway, so Melbourne, in Australia, and international. Okay,
so in Melbourne, I would say Cherry Bar.
Yes.
In Australia, I would say it was the Criterion Hotel down in Warrnambool, which is knocked down now, but that was awesome. And then internationally, it's always great going back to Donington. That's always as rock and roll as it gets. And then if you said England, I would say Donington. If you said France, I'd say Hellfest. And if you said Germany, I'd probably say either Wacken or Rock 'em Ring and Rock 'em Park.
We're from Melbourne, but I haven't been to Warrnambool, so 2 questions. 1, are you the biggest band from Warrnambool, or can you recommend some other bands from Warrnambool? And number 2, when I go to Warrnambool, what should I check out?
The biggest band from Warrnambool would be the Motivators.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah. And then closely, maybe running even, would be the Blue Heat. They're a very big blues band. But and then what should you check out down there? You should definitely go get Kerman's hamburgers. They're the best hamburgers in the world. We've been around the world 4 or 5 times now, and I've never had a better burger. It's the most simplest burger you'll ever have, but I've got to tell you, it's the best. Kerman's hamburgers for number 1.
Oh, awesome.
Favourite band right now?
Favourite band right now... you mean like that's just come out now?
Well,
just the one you're really digging at the moment.
Motorhead.
Yeah. And what's your favourite band of all time?
Favourite band of all time would be AC/DC.
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, since you just mentioned, what about modern bands?
Palace of the King.
Palace of the King.
Yeah.
Palace of the King. The Poor, they're not as modern as like coming out in year 2000, but they're still current. Yeah, The Poor and Palace of the King.
Okay.
And Desecrator, they're a metal band from Melbourne.
Okay, Airbourne are currently touring Australia with the Melbourne gig on January 20th at The Track, which is tomorrow night. Airbourne's newest album, Breaking Out of Hell, is out now. Nothing special, just raw, powerful, balls to the wall, rock and roll, made by the modern gods of rock. So yeah, everything spectacular. No ballads, no bullshit. Thank you so much for joining us in the Moshpit on Sin, Joel.
No worries, thanks for having me. You guys take care, enjoy the rest of your arvo, and keep on rocking.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thanks.
You got any parting words for our fans here in Melbourne?
Look, well, if you're coming down tomorrow night, look forward to seeing you there. Make sure you get on your mate's shoulders.
I'm Stefan.
And I'm Steven.
This is the Moshpit on Sin. Thank you again, Joel from Airbourne.
Keep rocking, lads.
Thanks for listening to the Moshpit Backstage podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Omni. To find out more about the show, go to www.syn.org.au/moshpit. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/moshpitonsin and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at moshpitsin. The regular Moshpit radio show broadcasts punk, rock and metal tunes and interviews every Thursday nights on Sin 9.7 on FM and digital radios. Listeners outside of Melbourne, Australia can stream Sin 9.7 online at www.syn.org.au. Thanks to Vintage Ruin for the music.
Hi, this is Tommaso from Flashgun Apocalypse.
Hi, I'm Enid from Girls School.
I am Phoebe Pinnock from Heavenly Axe.
Hey, this is Gary Oldmead of the Misfits.
Hey, this is Kat Sproul from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Sin FM.
Hi, this is Einar from Leopard.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lilly from the band Lily.
This is Raul from 1349.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ali from Beaverhead.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Benante with Anthrax, and you are listening to the Mosh Pit on Sin.